Okay, sorry about that. I had to restart the broadcast because I forgot to share my screen, which is kind of important when I'm showing you how to do things on my screen. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to join. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I know there's always a bit of a latency here, so I appreciate it if you let me know when you're here. Just made myself some hot tea. What are you guys doing? Actually, I just went shopping for a bunch of shit for the tutorials I'm putting out. Hope you guys are excited about that. Just let me know if my sound is okay. I'm just waiting for somebody. Well, hello. Hello, everybody. I see people starting to join. Thank you, Brittany. I'm excited too. Making sure people can hear me. You sound kind of far off. Okay, let me move my microphone in front of my screen, see if that helps any. See if that sounds better. I'm also not talking very loud because my dog is whining. I have nothing for you, dog. Go away. Okay, I know I'm starting a little early, but I figure a lot of people are going to watch this on the replay, and I'm going to do the same thing multiple times, so I figure I can start a little early. Not to mention, I feel like shit today, so I figure the sooner I get this done, the sooner I can go get spaceship high on my medical cannabis and take a nap. So, look at all of you guys. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to give everybody a couple seconds before I get started, but while I'm doing that, I know a lot of you people have been here forever, and some people are brand new, so I just want to point out that I do have a website where you can get free learnings, boudiy.com. If you log on to there, you'll see a button that says free online courses. These are the same courses like what I'm doing today that I do in the Facebook group. I do them about once a month, sometimes twice. I don't have everything moved over to this platform yet because it takes a long frickin' time, but if you want to, you can go to boudiy.com/free, and there's some of the best, highest watched, I guess, most watched, most requested live trainings. So I'm just warning you, they are filled with me cussing and probably dropping stuff, but they're there for you, and they all walk you through how to do some stuff. Now, if you're in the group, let me hop over. Let me see if I could do this. Ooh, no, I don't want to leave the page. No. Let me see if it will let me pull up another tab of Facebook, because I want to show everybody where the events tab is within the group. So let me pop over here, because some people they just don't know it's even there. And it's all this like free resources, and it's not just me, it's other educators too, so it's really cool. But if you are on your phone, it's a bar right up here and it says it, but since I'm on my computer, you'll see the events tab over here, and you can see these are the upcoming ones here. Obviously the one we're doing today. This one is next Saturday. You Are Worthy, Now Start Acting Like It. This I really am excited about. If you haven't watched my manifestation live, I highly suggest doing that first, because I'm going to touch base on a lot of that. But a lot of times the whole not getting paid what you want to get paid is not because of anything other than your own shit holding you back. So and then you see I have my Boo DIY Uncensored launches coming up on October 1st. Y'all, I'm going to talk more about this at the end. But like, I'm really excited about this community, and to make it the most basic in a nutshell thing, it's going to be the nuts and bolts are once a month. I'm going to be doing a full out set design from start to finish. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it. I'm going to show you how I design the set, how I create the set, and you do it yourselves. I do all the links for everything I used, and I try to keep everything on a budget, like, you know, because I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. I also like to get things that are reusable for other sets. So I'll be teaching that, and then I'll be teaching you, more importantly, how to correctly light it and style it. And then you'll be able to take that and then go run and use it at your own studio for, you know, fun, or for session prepayment plans, or mini sessions, or limited edition sessions, or just to bulk up your portfolio and get people talking. So I'm really excited about that. It is something I've been waiting for fucking ever to do. In fact, I just went shopping the last like 5 days for all the stuff. Now that's going to be launching in October to pay me, but the actual site itself won't be available. I'm hoping by December. I want to make sure that there is like plenty of content and like you guys have like lots of stuff to dig into before I do an official launch. But you'll be able to purchase your year subscription for only $12 a month, which is fucking like less than Starbucks these days, right? And you'll be getting the tutorial plus anything else that I happen to throw out in there. And there is a lot of other stuff. So that's only if you're a founding member. It's first 1,000 people. So make sure that you RSVP to that because I'm telling you, you do not want to miss that. If you do miss the launch, yeah, it's going to end up being between $20 to $25 a month. For everybody else or after the first 1,000. So it's still a fucking awesome deal because you're talking about like really good tutorials that you're going to have once a month that are going to bring you an income. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm super excited. Not to mention my Booty IY members, uncensored members will be able to be when we do meetups in person, they'll be able to come. When I do studio tours, they'll be able to tour, take part in that. They'll be getting discounts, first offers, all types of shit. So yeah. And also the one thing I think is really cool is once a month, I'm going to not only do the tutorial, but I'm going to come back and do a live critique or a critique. I'm not sure which one yet, on people who want, so I can help you make sure that your sets and everything look great. So basically you're getting me for really cheap. Cinematic Lighting on a Budget course is coming out January 3rd. Super excited about that one. If you missed Nudescapes, that was a huge release, and it's still, you can still purchase it over in the Booty IY store. It's great. But all of these past events are here for you. Let me see if I can click on that. There we go. And you can see they just keep going and going and going. And we got stuff from Brian and Kelly and just, a bunch of different people. So don't miss out on all of these free trainings in here. People are like, where should I go to watch training? I'm like, have you not seen the event tab? And I hate that they call this other tab the guides tab, because every time I tell somebody to go to the guides tab, I think they think I mean to go buy a guide, and I don't. I just mean go to the actual guides tab, and there's a bunch of shit. This is where I have a lot of the inspo threads saved, and like my really like basic, like the things people ask me all the time, like how do you do the fake window? How do you do the Omni lens baby? Like that shit's in there. So just an FYI. What time is it? Okay. So I really hope that you guys are excited. My first, I'm actually going to do a free tutorial teaser so you guys can see exactly what you can expect in the community. So you'll be able to see that before you buy anything. But I mean, like I said, for $12 a month, if I come on and go, it'd be worth it, right? Anyway. So I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to show you some fun stuff in Lightroom. And I'm also going to show you how to do a batch report for portraiture in Photoshop. Now I looked around. I understand that portraiture is available for both Lightroom and Photoshop. I don't use it for Lightroom. It takes fucking forever when you have to export, put the thing on. And like you guys know, if you run it in Lightroom, it takes like 20 seconds or 30 seconds for it to load it and then put it back, and then you don't have really any way to make fine adjustments. So I do not like it for Lightroom. If you don't have it for Photoshop and you're like, I don't know how to use Photoshop, go buy it and then go watch my frequency separation tutorial on my, whoops, let me get rid of my little mouse there, on my Booty website that I showed you all earlier, because you're going to save yourself a lot of time and heartache doing it that way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I know we're a little bit early, but... Now I did this on purpose. So this is a session from about, I think it was 2018. Yeah, so about 3 years-ish ago. I cared less back then about making sure my things were set up right. I did a lot of post work instead of just getting it right in camera. But there are times when you can't help it. You can't help to position the light right, or somebody moves and it gets fucked up, or you're outside and you got to kind of work with it, or you're in a natural light studio where that's how it is. So this is my basement studio, and you can see here I have one light. I believe this was a ring light, like judging by the fact that it looks like a circle. I think it's a ring light. So here is what I do, and I'm going to do this for a couple of pictures so you guys can see it multiple times in multiple ways, and I'll explain everything as I go. So the first thing I do is I convert the picture to a black and white. The reason I do that, and I have my phone over here, so if you have questions, I'm like looking occasionally, so I'll try to grab them if I can. So I hit the black and white tab, and the reason I do that is there's twofold. One, I'm colorblind, so I can't see if something's brighter or darker or whatever. So this is how I do it because it helps me to see where the light is incorrect. So I can see right now, like my eye immediately goes to the spot on my wall, right? We do not want that. We want it to go down here. So the next thing that I'll do, and this is like something I don't think a lot of people use, but I do. I always hit auto. Okay. Now the auto is going to just assume that it knows where to, apply the highlights and shadows. And sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's off. And you can do this before you hit black and white. You don't have to hit black and white, but you can see here, it looks a lot better than it does. I underexposed quite a bit, but I would probably be more in this vicinity. Okay. So I like all the shadows and where I pulled it. Sometimes I'll tweak it, but for the most part, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to go back to black and white so I can show you how I can see things. So this looks good to me, but we still see that this is an issue, right? So I'm going to teach you some of the most powerful tools up here that everybody's afraid of. And I swear to God, I was too. And I was like, all these little dots keep popping up and I'm confused and I don't know what the fuck's going on. Once you get the hang of them, they're very simple. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one that I use the most for just spot corrections. And they all do the same thing. So you have an adjustment brush, you have a radial filter, and you have a graduated filter. The graduated is exactly what it sounds like, and I'm going to click on it. Now, when you click on this and it's highlighted, this panel here doesn't affect the image until you select where you want to put it. So you can just click and drag, and you'll see this weird thing come up. Now, I'm going to make this really dark so you can see how it's gradiated. So you see it's darker up here and it lightly goes down. What you can do is you can move the very first line closest. Okay, and then you can pull this dot and you'll see that now it's not feathered. So all this does is feather. Okay, that is freaking it. So you can just use that to feather. So if you got something where like you got some extra light coming in the top, this is a great way to do that. The next one, and I'm gonna get rid of this, and if you don't want it, you just click on it and hit delete. Okay, and the next one I'm going to show you is the radial filter. So this one does a circle. Okay, this is the one I would actually use for this, and you can see I'm going to do an exposure so you can see exactly what's going on. That's all it does. So it's just affecting where that circle is. So with something like this, when I have this bright spot, the first thing I always do is pull down my highlights. Okay, so you can see right there the difference that made, right? Yes. Now I don't want the highlights to affect her because she's wonderful, so you can just move these little tabs and make it whatever shape you want to. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to pull down my exposure just a little bit because I'm still kind of bright there. I feel like that looks pretty good. Yeah, and sometimes when I pull down the highlights, you'll pull the shadows down, so I usually add those back in. So now you can see how much nicer that looks. And I'm going to put this back into color, okay? And I'm going to show you a before and, oops, I'm going to show you a before and after maybe. Why is this? Hold on for a second. I don't know how to make this one swap. No. Okay, just that one reset. No, you know what? Whatever. That's fine. That's just rude. Let's swap those. There we go. Okay. So you can see in the straight out of camera, I had this kind of a dot here, and you can see now we look more even, right? When I've been doing things that you show, I feel so damn validated, good about myself. Good, good. I'm about to blow your mind with some of the other stuff here. This is just my basics. So you can see how much nicer that looks already. Now, for the next portion of this, and the thing that I would do is, I'm going to put it back to black and white. So this is how it would look for me. And then I would change it into a color profile, and then I'm going to click this little tab over here, and I'm going to select whatever I want. And this is going to blow some people's mind because they don't know that this is a thing. These are called profiles. And when you are shooting in your camera, you're shooting whatever your camera is. Like I shoot Sony, so I shoot Sony profiles. When I put them into Lightroom, they'll default to, I believe, Adobe Color, which I fucking hate. So you'll see with Adobe Color, that's what it looks like. That's whatever. And a lot of people who especially have Sonys that are coming from like Canon or Nikon will be like, oh, the skin tone's off. And I'm like, I bet you're using Adobe profiles. I personally don't like them. I will go with camera matching. And now Adobe does include other presets in here, or excuse me, profiles. So those are already preloaded and you can buy them too, or you can make your own. I personally just like the camera matching ones. I think they look the best. And then depending on what you like, I always do vivid because I'm colorblind, but I do actually prefer either the neutral or the standard a lot of times. So I'm going to do standard this time. So now you can kind of compare those two. Oops. And we can see a big difference already, right? Easy peasy. Now, the one other thing, and people will go out and buy presets, and like, don't get me wrong, I sell presets. I have my own, and they're wonderful. But if you want to further screw with your picture, you can come down here into just the shadows. And I really recommend just doing this in the shadows. And this is under the color grading. You can pull this and just screw around and see what you like. Like a lot of times I'll just come in here and like, I love that. Like that looks good, a little purple. And then you can see how much you want to add to the shadows. So I'd go probably like right there. And that's perfect to me. Like I would do nothing else. I might do like a little bit of noise reduction just because it smooths out the skin and I'm lazy. But like her skin looks really good to me, so I'm not really concerned about anything on that picture. Okay, so let's do another one. And then we'll do one that's pretty common. So here's one where I'm trying to do a rim light and I missed. And I hit the center of her chest, which is fine. Except for I just didn't have the actual room in my or excuse me, the actual like area in my room to put the light in the correct space. So I do what I can. So with this, and I'm going to go ahead and put the before up so you can watch this real time. So I'm going to turn it black and white, and then I'm going to hit my auto. And you can see auto made this really bright. And it doesn't understand that I'm trying to underexpose. So I don't really mess with that part. I'll just come in and mess with just the exposure portion because that looks really good to me. Like I like that a lot. This is a little bit of a hot spot right here still. So what I would do, and like I feel like it's a little dark over here. Okay, so I'm just going to take my gradient tool, and it doesn't matter what it's set to. Like it could be really dark right now. It doesn't matter. I'm just looking at where I'm placing it, and I think that we'll go there. And if you want to feather it more, there's actually a button down here called feather, and you can see you can feather it. You can make it really obvious or you can make it feathered. And let me put this back. So I just want to pop up those shadows just a little. That's already better. So see, now we're getting more focus here, less just on this chest. And really, I would honestly fix this in Photoshop just because it is a bright spot. But you could take like your brush here, and you can always hit this button over here if you don't know where you're painting. But like there's that. I'm going to turn it off so I can see what the hell I'm doing. And I'd probably just pull that highlight down just a little bit. Pump up that a little. There, that looks pretty good. That's better. So now when I come back over into color, you'll see that looks a lot nicer. Now it's still muddy in the shadows. And that's because I shot it without a light. So I'd pull those shadows down. That looks pretty good. Pull those up. And then the last thing I would do is come in here and then pick whatever color profile I liked that I want to use. I'd probably just do that one. And that's about it. Now with white balance, a lot of times I like it how I shoot it, but you can hit auto in here if you're not somebody who is really watching, or if you're shooting on auto white balance, then you don't have to worry about this. But I always try to come in and then I'll do just a little bit here, and like if I see that there's something where I feel like there's some orange or whatever, and that's because I raised up the exposure, right? I'll come down here, and like I said, I'm colorblind, so I'll check a couple areas first. So that is where that is showing. So I would just probably pull that down just a little. And then you could actually use that gradation to increase like the saturation down here so it matches closer. There's all types of stuff. Hold on, let me see what question I have. So with the radiant filter, it just changes the part in the circle. Yes. And as someone mentioned, though, you can invert it. So I'll show you. Let me click back on this thing. So let's say I wanted to saturate this area more. And I'm just going to make this like crazy saturated. There you go. Actually, that looks pretty good. If you go down and there's a button here that says invert, and it'll do the opposite. So you'll see now everything outside of the circle is where the color is. Everything inside, and you can kind of play with this to see how much you want to add or not add. Okay? So that, I mean, that's really it in terms of like basic editing. And I'm going to show you skin retouching and some things with some with the rangefinder mask, but this, just for your basic, you see how quick that is, right? And like I said, you don't have to necessarily do the black and white. I just do because I can't tell where there's necessarily light and dark areas. But when I do this, I can see like right here is a little bit lighter, this is a little darker. And I personally really enjoy an even exposure. Not everybody does. So for this, since the light source is a faux window, okay, the fake window, and it's shining over here, and you can see as it hits here, it's pretty bright, and then the further away it gets, you know, inverse square law, it gets darker. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it black and white. I'm going to go to my little gradient circly guy. I want to pull down my highlights over here, and I'm just trying to match like this. So I ain't trying to like make it super dark or anything. I am just simply, like that is too much. I am just simply trying to even it out. So I like that a lot. Same thing with this sucker. I'm just going to come over here, and I'm just going to increase my exposure some. I like that. You can see how not how like not precise I am with this. Okay. And it doesn't really matter when you hit the auto. You can hit auto to, you know, even it out before or after you do the corrections with the gradient mask. Or if you don't need those corrections, you can just skip that part. So I'm going to put this back into color. I'm going to do auto to seize. I always feel like that it's just a little green or something, right? So you can use this little dropper. I just selected something white, and now you see we're much better color. Do you think that's underexposed? That looks decent, but now her skin color is weird because an Adobe color. So I'm going to pop into here, and I'm going to change over. Usually if I'm doing something like a skin tone, I love neutral. See how much nicer that looks now? Much nicer. And then you could sit here and fiddle fuck around with all this shit if you want to. Or it's a good time to add like your presets and different things, like if you're wanting to add, you know, different colors. I personally just like to slide on down here. And one more time, I'm just going to pull down the orange just a little. And you know, you can screw around with like skin tones doing that, but I don't like to mess with skin tones too much. But let's see. I really know I usually like a pinky on this set. It's a little too pink. Ooh, like the purple. And yes, you can mess around with these up here. I just do not. Okay. Especially if you're just kind of figuring things out, it's not the best idea to start with those, I guess, with the, you know, the things other than just the shadows. I really like that. That looks pretty. Okay, so I mean, and that's like the most basics. And then I'm going to show you on this picture how I would do the skin. Now, I'm being real honest when I say her skin is so soft from that window, I wouldn't fucking retouch it at all. Perfect, you know, because like, look at her skin, it was fucking good. Ah. You're a freaking master. I had no clue you were colorblind. Yeah, you know, it's tough sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to show you now what a radial filter is. So on any of these things we talked about, the graduated or gradiated, I don't know, graduated like I fucking got out of high school, the gradiated filter, the radial filter, and the adjustment brush. Okay, and you can use like the adjustment brush to do your dodging and burning. I am not a big dodge and burner. I will show you that in like a different picture, but you totally can. I actually think it's way easier in here than it is Lightroom, or I think it's easier in here than it is Photoshop. So anytime you use these filters, you have an option to use something called a range mask. And basically a range mask allows you to select a range of something. And what that is depends on what you pick. So I'll just show you what I mean. So you're going to pick, I'm going to pick gradiated filter. It's just easier. And then what you want to do, you don't want to have to go and select this whole image. Because remember, we're only, if it's gradiated, it's only going to be half of the image if you spread it out like that. So you have to keep the sucker really close and then drag the whole thing. Or if you're like me, if you go to the right of the picture and just do that, you've now selected the whole picture. Okay? I'm going to do that again so you can see what I did. Boom. It's selected. That's it. And it's the same damn thing with this thing. You just go outside the frame and hit it here, and now it's going to affect, whoops, and you invert it, and then it's going to affect the whole area, okay? So let me get rid of that. So I'm going to go back to the gradiated filter again. All right. So with this, if I wanted to do something, let's say, let's do something with like her, I don't like to change colors in here, but yeah, I guess I will show you that. Okay. So I'm going to go to my gradient filter. I'm going to make my little selection out here. And I'm going to show you first how I would smooth the skin. And you guys will love this, because if you're using portraiture in Lightroom, you might as well just be doing this anyway. And you can batch do this so that it's not just one image at a time too. So what I do first is I go down here, and this is under, remember, this menu pops up whenever you select these things. So I got my gradiated mask. I'm going to go down here to range mask, and I'm going to choose, we're going to do color this time. Okay. And the reason I'm doing color is because we're doing her skin. So you got a couple of options here. You can either select the skin range with the dropper, which is what I like to do. You can pick a big spot and it'll average it, or you can use your shift button and pick a couple different spots. So what I always do is I always turn on the layer mask, and it'll show you exactly what's selected. So you can see I got a lot of color down here. So I'm just going to back this up some, and I'd say it looks pretty good. If you got areas that are missing color, you can always come in here, hit shift, and fill them in. But honestly, with this kind of stuff, it's not that important. That's better. And you just kind of click around to see what you like the best. Pull that up some. I think that's going to be pretty good. Let me add here and there. There, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. And then did you know that you can actually do presets on this? So like if I come up here to effect and I click, I have one, see I have DIY smooth. If I click that, it's going to already do what I already have it set to do. So you can see, and I'll show you how to do this. You can see how much smoothing it does just in those areas we picked. Okay, right, it's basically free, like, or free fucking portraiture. And then you can also slide this if you want to see if you like more area to be affected or less area. And all I did to make this DIY smooth filter is very simple, and I'm going to show you my settings right here. I like to do my clarity down a little, and you can do clarity up or down. It depends how you like it, but I like my clarity around negative 8 to negative 5, somewhere in there. I usually pick like negative, I think, 8, and my texture at negative 35. And remember, it's not going to affect like the hair or anything, because we only selected her skin color, so that's the only area you're going to see this. See how it's affected? That's the only place you're going to see it. So this is a really cool technique too if you want to come in and change somebody's skin tone, if you want them to be a little more tan or whatever, or if you're trying to get like a weird color out, it works that way too. But all you got to do, make sure everything else on here is zeroed out. Okay, let me just go in here. And no. Okay, and then once that's done, all you got to do is click on, hold on for a second, it's been like a fucking 100 years before I did this. Is it this button? Yes. Okay, so you click on these little get the fuck out of my way. Click on these little arrows, and you could do this, I mean, you could just set it every time if you want, but it's just easier to create a, preset. So save current settings as new preset, and you just make a name. Create it, boom. And then now anytime you go in there and you select, so let me go to a different one, and we'll do a different skin here again. Sorry, shit's slow. So I'll show you on this picture here as well. And I just want to show you one thing really quick. Did you, I don't, and a lot of you guys probably know this, but if you say you have images that are similar, similar lighting, similar spot and all that, you can select multiple images by coming down into your whatever they call this strip, I don't know, and you select the one you just edited. Okay, and you can hit shift to get the one next to it, or if you want, you can select them all with just holding shift. Okay, select one next to it, go over here to where it says sync, And it depends what you want to sync. I'm going to not sync the local adjustments. That's what we just did with the light, because this is a different, it's literally the opposite. So the lighting's not going to need the same correction, but everything else should be the same. Treatment and profile, the white balance, like everything should look good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit to sync it. And now if I come down here, you'll see it applied that exact same setting onto here. So now if I pull those two up together, they match in terms of color consistency, and you don't have to sit there and go back and forth between the two. Okay, like I said, a lot of people don't realize that's an option, but it totally is. Here, I'm gonna slide that back. There we go. So you can see how they match perfectly. Okay, so anyway, so let's go in here now. I'm going to turn this black and white again because I can't see where my light is. No, honestly, this light looks pretty good, but it is a little bright right here, I think. And if you're not 100%, you can always turn down the majority and see where the brightest parts are. So I can see right there is really bright. So I'm going to put this back up to about there. And I'm going to come into my gradiated filter again. Or excuse me, my radial filter, the circle. And then I'm just going to pull down the highlights just a little. Now it affected over here. It probably won't matter, but I'll still make it smaller. That looks pretty good, I think. Might just do a little less. Let me pop up the shadows, pop that down. There we go. Now we have our eye more drawn up here. So, I mean, like, we can really get, like, crazy about this shit. And pull down these, like, little bright spots. There we go. And then we'll go back to color. Bam. Looks much better. And then you can play with how much you want, how dark you want it. And a lot of times people will pull the contrast to make more contrast. I personally don't like to do that. I like to pull whites if I want to pull more highlights in my image. See how much nicer that looks than contrast? Because that's what we're usually trying to do, is lighten something up. And then you don't really need all these shadows and blacks and all that. And then something else, like the dehaze is another one that is really nice, but it can fuck the skin up. So be careful how much you're pulling, because you'll see it'll start pulling out weird textures and shit like that. But I do like that. I really don't like to fuck with contrast too much. So that looks good. I like everything about it. Let's see. Yeah. See how easy that was, because we copied the things over. And I'll show you, again, I probably wouldn't fuck with her skin on this one, but I will show you again how we do it. So I'm just pulling this gradient mask, doing this, because remember, if I do that, it selects everything. And this time I'm going to go down to, because right now you'll see my my little demo preset is on here, so it's applying it, so you can see how much smoother the skin looks. But it's everything smooth. That's smooth. Her hair's real smooth, and like for some pictures that might be cool, but we don't want to do that, right? So I go back down here, click this thing onto color, because we're doing her skin. I'm gonna come in here and select one spot, and we'll see. If you want to see where you're selected, just click that. I think Control O makes the overlay come on. I do not remember, so don't hold me to that. So I'm gonna go like right there. That looks good. So I'm gonna turn that off. So now we just see the smoothness affected in her skin, and that's it. And you can always make small adjustments if you want, like, see how much texture I can just bring back into her skin. So you can kind of fiddle fuck around with how much you like and what you don't. Dehaze is another one you can kind of use in there to get that skin even more smooth. And now, mind you, I would still do frequency separation on this, but in terms of just for like a soft edit or just for your beginning portion, it works so well. And it's so damn easy to do. So, okay, so I'm gonna do this one more time. And I just think this is funny, because I always tell you guys, whoops, I'm doing all types of things. Let me reset this. There we go. Why are you fucking way down there? There. Okay, so this is my fake light again. I had it behind. This is like prototypes, guys. See, everything I do for y'all are prototypes, because I don't want to put anything out there that works like shit. So I go through like 85,000 fucking trial and tribulations, and then I gotta deal with shit like this, and then I figure out why I didn't like that and how to fix it, and then you guys get it. You're welcome. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a foam board from Home Depot. You can actually see the R and the Max up there. So I don't remember what was back there, but something was back there, and I couldn't hide it, and I wanted to make a set, so I I just propped it up against the wall, and you can't tell. I mean, right now you can, but once I, you know, make this, oops, once I do this and edit it, you won't have the slightest fucking inkling. So, black and white. And like, honestly, here's something I learned back in the day, and I really am good about it now. If I pull up any of my images of current, I am a super underexposer for the most part. I try to do an even exposure, but if it's something like this and I don't have any way to fill in this light on the side, then I'm going to err on the side of underexposing. And the reason for that is because if you overexpose, you can't pull out details and highlights. You'll see over here how there is no texture. It's blown out. Okay. So it doesn't look as good. I prefer my stuff not be blown out, because it's like a big fucking, like, where's your eye go? It goes right here to this big white spot, right? So it's just a, you know, just a thought when you're doing it, try to make it more balanced in person, and you won't have to do all this. But anyway, I digress. So since this is on one side of the image and it's gradiated toward her, I'm going to use the gradiated filter. You can still use the circle if you want. I just find that this will be a little better. So I don't want it to be feathered too much, so I'm just going to pull the dot. And if you don't know where it's affecting, just pull that exposure down all the way, and then you'll really be able to see it. So I'm going to say like right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and let me reset this. Bink. Okay. So first thing I would do is pull down my highlights, because see, that already pretty well balances out there, doesn't it? I don't even really think. Maybe just pop them up a little. Yeah, I think that looks good. I'm not going to get everything perfect here because, like I said, I blew it out. So there's not a lot I can do there. But I can do the best with what I have. Okay, that looks pretty good. So next I'm hitting my auto. That's going to have the computer tell me what it thinks. And then I'm going to tell it just a little bit lower on my exposure. A little bit higher on my whites. That looks good. I hate Adobe fucking color. So I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to do neutral because that's just what I prefer. And then this still to me is yellow, I guess. So I'm going to pick a white spot and I'm going to let it correct it for me. And then, like I said, I love using this to get my darks a little darker. Much better, right? And for like a final little adjustment, I will come down to my... Well, I'd probably pull yellows down just because there's, yeah. So if you ever feel like there's too much orange, pull your yellows down. You're welcome. And I come down to my shadows, and then I'm just going to see what kind of vibe. Everybody I know always goes with like a warm vibe. I like cool vibes. I don't know. It's just what I, you know, like. Then again, you can see how much or how little of this you want right there. I'll say that. And I'd say that looks pretty good. I probably would pull down my shadows just a little more. There we go. Look at that. Huh? Now remember, so I got this picture over here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to sync them again. But real quick, I just want you to see that before and after. Much better, right? I know everybody's going to be like, but it's warm. I know, I don't like warms. I mean, I can make it warmer there. There, it's slightly better. I still don't like warms. And you don't have to color correct it. That's a personal preference. I like this, though. It looks way better to me. So what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to make sure that this picture is highlighted, and then I'm going to hit shift, and I'm going to select the picture next to it because they're similar, and see if I can do a reference picture. Oh, fuck you too. Whatever. Well, let's make this big here. There we go. Now you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm selecting the picture just edited, hitting shift, and then I'm going to sync. And again, I'm not going to sync the local adjustments. If you have images that are really similar, actually, this one's close enough to where I can. See how the light's on one side, lights on there. So we're going to sync the local adjustments just on that radiant filter. Graduated filter. Circle, not the circle, the other one. All right, so I'm going to hit sync, and then we're going to see this picture convert from where it was. Come on. To looking the same as the other one. So let me put these guys next to each other, make this small again. Okay, and the only problem with this though is going to be that because it is a different picture, although I have to say it really evened out that spot really well. So I'm going to move the adjustment that I sync because it's probably too close. Yeah, see, it's affecting a little bit too much. So I'm just going to scoot it over a little. And then maybe I'll make it a little less. Good. But see, once I have one image done, I just sync the fuck out of them. I don't want to sit there and play around 100 years with each picture individually, you know, doing shit. And it's ridiculous. So I really like this. This looks good. If I was gonna do something with her skin, let's see. So I would do, we're gonna do our little radial tool, if I could talk today. And I'm going to just come over here and do this, right? And it's already up here on the thing I pre-made for my skin, the demo from earlier. So it's already affecting her. I actually really like what it looks like, but just so you can see the difference. Okay, so we're gonna go, I like a little bit of texture. A lot of times I like to crank up the clarity because it defines the edges more, and then crank down the texture. And then I'm gonna go to my range mask. I'm gonna do color. I'm gonna get my little droppy drop. I'm just gonna select a little area. And let's see where that is. So kind of pull this down. That looks pretty good. You can see the chair is a little affected, but that's okay. I don't give a fuck about the chair. And that's pretty well it. And like I said, if you want, you can take this opportunity if you want to like kind of adjust like skin tone. A lot of times I'll pull the highlights down in their skin. It doesn't necessarily work as well in this one, but just a thought. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to pull that up. So that just gives you kind of an idea, and let's do a side-by-side here. And it's a very subtle, smooth, but it looks really nice and it looks really natural. Okay? I just want to also say that I'm editing in Adobe RGB. I have a bend queue. So if you see, I don't think you guys can see if I click the button. I have a screen that has multiple profiles. So I'm editing in Adobe RGB, so the colors may look off to you because on sRGB, Adobe RGBs look extraordinarily like oversaturated. Like even more so. Oh, let me look on the phone. It's a little bit bright in my phone, but that's okay. All right, so I want to show you another thing that you can do with that radial tool. So let's say, let's pick this guy. Try to pick some. Okay, so we'll pick this guy. Let me reset this so it's straight out of camera. Okay. Now something else you can do, and I'm just gonna do my same thing, black and white, and I hit auto. That actually looks pretty good. Come back into color. Do auto on this. See, I always shoot better. I think. I always I'm constantly fucking with my white balance. Here is a tip. I always shoot my white balance no matter what at 5500. Because that's what the light should be, and it's going to look fucking however exactly it looks in the scene at 5500. So if it's super yellow in the scene and you shoot at 5500, it's still going to look super yellow on your camera. I correct later. So I just pretty much always shoot at 5500. Probably not the best idea, but hey, it works for me, so fuck it. Okay, and then I'm going to change her profile one more time. Do a vivid this time, like that. She is some weird ass color, so I'm just picking a white spot there. That looks much better. I think because I can't see yellows and oranges is why I do not like warm images as much. So everything looks pretty good there. I'd probably pull her shadows down a little bit, pop that up a little. That actually looks really good. But let's say for shits and giggles that we couldn't get these lights to dim anymore, okay? If you go into your, and you can do this with any of the tools, I'm just going to use the adjustment brush because it's something I haven't used yet. So all you do is you just brush over what you want to change. Okay, do not have to be accurate. You can hit this little button. If you want to remove something, then you can just hit, I believe, Alt. Yeah, Alt on a computer, Command, I think, on a Mac. I don't know, I don't do Mac. All right. So let's say it's just that upper part I want to affect there. All right, I'm going to turn that back off. If we go down to our, let me reset this to my default here real quick. Whoops. Okay, there. And then if we come down to the range filter, range mask. We're going to do luminance this time. And what luminance is going to show you what's bright, what's dark. So I'm going to click this little button to show my luminance mask. And I like to take the smoothness all the way off, because then you can really see where the effect is happening. So if you move this little guy here, it's going to, okay, this is just like your shadows and highlights. This side shadows, this side's highlights. So if you take away this, it'll come out of the highlight or the shadows, and if you take away this, it'll come out of the highlights. So since I want the highlights, I'm going to make sure all the highlights are selected, and then I'm going to remove, and you see now we're just around those bulbs and a little bit of their glow. So I like that. I'm going to make it just a little smoother. Cool. I'm going to turn this off. And now if I go up to this tab, you can see the only place it's going to get affected is those little bitty lights that I chose. And I like doing this for if I have too much highlights in something, I could pull them down so it's not as bright. But I wouldn't do it on this image because I shot it correctly, but this is just something that I wanted to demo for you guys. And then let me show you another one too. Let me reset this. And like, let's say, let me get rid of this guy here real quick. Okay, so let's say I wanted to do some dodging and burning. There's a couple ways you can do that too. You can, let me just pick something here so this looks less weird. If you wanted to, like, say, let's make these highlights more around here, all you got to do again is click on this little tool here, select your stuff, and you can use the range mask to do your luminance. So we'll show it. Let's say I want to fuck with the shadows, okay? So I'm going to actually slide this way, and you can see I'm only getting shadows here on her back. I'm going to smooth it out. See, that's really abrupt. That's really the whole image. So I kind of want to go like right in there, okay? And then I could turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. And then everything's just going to affect those shadows, see? So maybe I just want to pull up just the shadows a little to get a little bit more of a 3D or more hyper real look. I do like doing that sometimes. So you can affect whole areas in that way. But in terms of doing, you know, actual fucking, my brain's going to work here in a minute, actual dodging and burning, the easiest way to do it, and I'm actually going to pull this image here. Yeah. So the easiest way to do it, you ready for this? This is fun. You can, and again, you can pick any of these tools you want. I'm just going to pick the gradient mask because it's graduated. Gradient. Oh, I was right. Fuck. And I don't know why it keeps defaulting back to that, but it just does. Like, please stop. What is your fucking deal? Whatever. Like, it has different presets in here to affect things. I'm just going to leave it the fuck alone. All right. So if you go to your graduated, you can either come in here and just affect the areas like this. So if you want to pull up highlights, and you can use your luminance like we were doing, or you can use your little brushy guy here, and you can come in with your brushy guy. And just so you know, these little dots, if you do something and like, so say we did this and then you're like, oh man, I meant to do it here, you can click on this guy and it'll let you affect that area, okay? So, and you're like, oh no, what about this? You just click it again and it'll affect that. So don't get overwhelmed if you see like a bunch of a bunch of things like that. So all you gotta do with your mask, if I'm doing highlights, for instance, I mean, these look really good to me, but let's just for fun, you can just come in here and just hold your button and then just do some painting here. I'm just hitting all of our highlights. Nothing's changing right now because I haven't moved anything over here. But like, now that I did that, you can watch, and I can just pull up highlights, and this will show you everything I did. See it all? So if you want to just add a little extra, I didn't mean to do that one. And if you screw up and like say you have this extra guy here, you can either delete this whole guy, but see, if I hover on it, you can see what it affects. So I don't want to delete all that. I just want to get rid of this part. So all you gotta do is hit Alt, and then you can, oh, maybe, there we go. You can paint that off if you screw something up. But that to me is the easiest way. And I mean, you can use the exposure button, but I always just use whatever, the highlight. I personally prefer to do it in Photoshop, but it's something a lot of people like to do. So I wanted to make sure I included it in there. So I'm one more time I'm going to show the gradiated. So let me pick another one here. And I'm going to do, excuse me, I was going to show you the luminance. So I'm pushing over to the side here. And you can see my demo is on there. And this is what I was talking about. If you have a preset, you can just leave this on, create your mask. It's going to pop up onto whatever you're putting it on. The only thing you'll have to do then is just come into here, go color, and pick the spot, and then it'll pretty much just affect the image, whatever color of the, whatever portion of the image you chose. Now, I remember watching somebody somewhere do this to where you can batch edit these. So in other words, if you want to sync just the skin retouching, you totally can. So let me show you what I mean. So let's come into here, and I'm going to remove this real quick. So that's all the skin retouching, right? So we'll get rid of that. So this image here still has it, and the other one doesn't. So what you want to do is, while your filter is selected, or whatever you use, you can see this is where I did the skin retouching. While that's selected, you just do the same thing. Your shift, select the next image, hit sync. I just uncheck all except the local adjustments. And we just are going to do the gradiated filter because that's what I use, synchronize. And then if I select this other image, come on, you'll see it applied it here. And then I believe, let me make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, this will already be open. And then you can either, like, it's got it selected there, you can either move this to a different area if it's not good, or you can leave it alone. I like it there better. And that's it. That's how you can sync those together. Very simple, which I love. But I'm going to show you how to batch report or batch edit smooth skin smoothing in Photoshop here in a second, which is like immensely quicker. So let's say that I like all these guys, okay, and I'm ready to export. I already did my syncing and my saving and all that stuff. All I do is I come down here, hit Control All or A. Oh, that would be Command on a Mac, huh? I don't know what the fuck Alt is on a Mac. I'm sorry, guys. So all I do is select this, come up here, File, Export. Now, when I do this is me showing you exactly what I do to get people ready for a reveal. Okay, so I just run just like that. I'll come in here and let me make a new folder for myself real quick. Lord knows I got enough. Put in subfolder demo for live, and you want to do your renaming and all that. In this area, if I am exporting to save them, I make sure that I'm full size on everything. I make sure I uncheck the resize to fit, because I do resize to fit when I'm just fucking around and I'm not, like if I'm practicing or something, because I don't want the full images. But for clients, they need it. Everything else looks good. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna export those couple, and then I'm gonna show you how to batch report, and it'll just take a second. And let's see if there's any questions. Whenever I have a dark outdoor image, my photos look so grainy. Okay, so the thing with grain is it's not caused by high ISO. So imagine that you're listening to a radio, okay? And the radio is your everything, your exposure, your light, all that. Gain would be like, it's your broadcast, right? So your gain on your radio is like, you could turn it up and down, but when you turn it up, any noise that's in the broadcast, like any pops or hisses or whatever, you're going to amplify that when you turn the volume up, right? That's exactly what ISO is. It has no effect, no rendering on the actual quality. It is simply a gain for these settings. So if you have underexposed shadows, or if you have poor quality of light, then you're going to find that when you increase that ISO, that you're going to amplify those issues. And I'll show you here in a second too. I'm drinking tea. Let me see if I can hop over here without showing any titties. Hold on. And please don't judge my Lightroom because it's so fucked up. Let's do. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, this picture's pretty much ready to go. It just needs, like, 3 retouches on the zits. But anyway, I show images like this. This would be an example of me showing an image in my, like, for clients. I don't do any, like, major editing or anything because it's just too time consuming. But when you go in here, it's so easy just to, you know, fix up these couple of things and be done once they choose them. So what you're going to do, we're going to create an action, and I'm just going to walk you through how to do it. Okay, so basically what had happened here is that I haven't installed this particular action in Photoshop in a long time. Probably 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago is when I did it with Imagenomics. Gosh, it could have been even longer than that. Anyway, so I went and I looked up a different method, and it come to find out that method actually, after doing some research, is stupid. And it wasn't necessarily that I was doing anything wrong. It's just the person who put the method out didn't realize that she was double saving images, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So what I've done is I went ahead and I did the correct version. I'm going to insert that for you right now so that you can bypass the remainder of the video of me trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Although definitely entertaining, so once you watch the correct version, you can definitely, you know, continue on to watch the rest. So thank you for that, and I appreciate it. Okay, thank you guys for your patience. I went ahead and looked at some things, and the way that other people are doing it, they have to create the action every time they want to run a batch report, which is dumb. So I went ahead and I pulled up the old method, and it's very simple. So I'm going to walk you guys through that really quick. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to head over to imagenomic.com/support/droplets. I will link this in the description. You're going to select the actions for your version. Mine are Portraiture 3. I do believe that you're going to have to sign in. It didn't ask me to sign in, but I'm just assuming I'm probably signed in. So hit that. Or actually, maybe it won't, because this would only work if you had Portraiture. So I've already done this, so you can see it's opened a few times for me. You just open your file, you double click your your action, and it will self-install into Photoshop. So it did that right down here. It's in here like 3 times for me. So all you have to do, I'm just changing this back into button mode. Cool. All right, so now you just go over to File, Scripts, Image Processor. You're going to select the folder that you want to run the action on. So we're going to do the demo for live here. And I already pre-made a folder, but I just always make a final folder or edit folder or whatever. That's the one I'm going to use. Select, save as JPEG image 12. I'm converting to sRGB because like I said before, I shoot in Adobe RGB. So if you're already sRGB, you don't have to click that. And then what you're going to do is make sure these actions are clicked down here, and you're going to go to, and you can see I've done this, like I said, a couple times. You're going to go to the Imagenomic Portraiture plugin, and you're going to choose, I like default skin tones only. To me, that one works the nicest. And you're going to hit run, and that's it. And it's going to save this time, and it's not going to fuck up like it did the other 12 times. So we'll let it batch run here for a moment. And this way, no matter what, you're creating a new folder each time, just like I showed you, and all of your stuff's going to be nice and organized and not weird and hard to figure out like the other method. So we'll give this a second, and I'm just looking at my folder where I'm saving them, and you can see here, let's do extra large. You can see that they're loading as it goes, and that is it. See how simple? All right, thank you very much. And select it if you want. I just leave it off. It's going to affect the whole image, yes, but like I said, this isn't what I don't do this for finalization. I just do this for showing. If you want to select just the skin, leave that on. But if you have black and whites, it will not apply it. So just an FYI. So I'm just going to keep it kind of where I want. Smoothing looks pretty good. I'm going to leave that on. And you got to wait for this little stupid thing down here. so I can see. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'll hit OK. And really, you don't even have to fuck with anything in there. Just leave it whatever your normal settings are. I just changed it because I don't usually use it. So we do that, and then I'm going to merge this down. Okay. And then I'm going to go up to File, Save As, Save on my computer. And then I'm going to pick a new, I'm just going to make a folder in here. And you only have to do this folder part once. Portrait runs. Okay. I'm going to select that. Now this, when it runs these actions, it's going to put it into this folder. So I'm going to hit save and then OK and then stop. Now I'm done. And I know you guys are like, the fuck did you just do? So I'm going to show you exactly what I just did. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this back onto button mode. All right. And if I scroll way the fuck down, it's scrolling. I have a lot of actions. Oh, I make actions for everything. Okay, I have actions for my actions. So here's that portraiture run I just did. So now if I hit it, you'll see it will do the layer. There it goes. I just applied the portraiture. And then, why is it not saving it? It's interesting. Okay, you know what? Let me try something real quick. Can't, like, my apologies, but it's been about 5 years since I've done this, so I think I did it right, but I just want to double check. So if I go to scripts, and I'm just going File, Scripts, Image Processor, I'm going to select the folder I want to run this on. So that was what, desktop, demo for live. So I'm going to pick that folder, and then I want it to save into that folder I created. So port runs, and you can see it saved that picture already for me. It just didn't get rid of it. And let's see, when I do these, I resize them to a quality 8 because I'm only doing this to upload them into like shoot proof or whatever I'm showing, and I don't want to wait for 100 years for that to go, so you don't have to worry about that. You can leave that unchecked. And then down here you're going to pick the action that you want. So I saved it in Boo DIY, and I want to run the port run here. Okay, and then I just hit run, and it should. You must save to at least one file type. Did I not? Demo for live. I must save at least one file type. I don't know what the fuck it's asking me. Hold on. Let me see. That is so weird. Run action. Port run. Select the folder, demo for live, and then port run. Yeah, keep in structure. Save to at least one file type. Okay, let me try this again. I'm like, I don't know what it's doing. See, it saved it fine there, right? Save to file, image processor. Now see, I run this an old way. Back in the day, and I still think this is a thing, back in the day Imagenomic gave you plugins, actions to put in there, and I would just run this. So this is like a new way that people do it. So do port run. That should be it. Oh, I see. I do want to convert to sRGB. Save as a JPEG. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why it was freaking out. It's quality 12, I think. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, 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 no. Let me just pop something else up, because if it starts running her picture, she's naked. I don't know why I pulled her picture. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. Technical difficulties, guys. I don't know why it's pulling. Oh, I bet you I didn't fix that. Hold on. Let me just pop that up, because like I said, these are going to be nude, but you can see the process here. I just picked the wrong folder because I'm a fucking idiot. But we're going to have to let it run through its thing. It's applying the preset and it's saving it. So if I go over to desktop and demo for live. In here, okay, yeah, I just saved it to the wrong folder. So let me stop this real quick. And the only way you can stop it is to literally shut the damn thing off. Woohoo! I almost got caught with boobs. And don't worry, I have permission to share all hers too. No, 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 don't pop up. I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay, let me shut that off. Sorry guys, I'm gonna do this all again for you. This is what you get when it's live. Okay, I think it's done. I think it's done trying to get me in trouble. When you ran the action, did you tell it where to save? Yeah, I'm gonna run through the process one more time. Now that I know what I did wrong. Like I said, I should have practiced it. but I was like, oh, that's easy. I won't fuck it up. And then here we are. Oops. If I can maybe not break your guys' eardrums. All right, so let me open a picture from hers again. Demo for live. Okay. So I'm literally going to run through the process one more time, just for funsies. So what we're going to do, I'm going to hit this button, turn off the button mode. We're going to hit new action. Yes, I put demo bitch. It's a demo bitch. We'll save this again in our Boo DIY. We don't want any function keys, so we're going to start recording. All right, so I want to create a layer, copy layer. That's important. I mean, I guess technically for this, you don't have to if you're doing a batch like I am, now that I think about it. Yeah, actually, why do I do that? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so filter, Imagenomic Portraiture. Let it load, let it do its thing. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully I get it to work. If I don't, I will come back and do it after I figure it the fuck out. But I think we get it this time. That looks good. Normal, normal, normal. Hit OK. Boom. Okay. And then I'm going to merge it down. Then I'm going to go to File, Save As. And this is where you put where you want to save it. So we want to save it into the portrait runs. And then I'll let it do its thing. Save. Okay. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. And you have to click it so it's gone. Boom. Okay. And then, or, yeah. Okay. And then if I go back in there, pop this guy back up. We're gonna stop. And then I want to make sure, like, see how it's got this open? I don't want that on there, so I'm gonna disable that. It's because I opened it back up. I'm trying to think how I did this last time without... Okay, you know what, guys? I'm sorry, I know this is going to confuse some people, but I want to make sure that... I want to make sure it runs right for you, so I'm going to do one more thing, just to be sure. And look, you're going to have lots of practice. So we're going to do it one more time. Button mode's already off. If you just hit the record button down here, it doesn't give you the option to save the name, so I always just do the new action. Demo, 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 please work. Okay. Keep it in that set. That's wonderful. Okay, so one more time. We're doing a copy, filter, portraiture, portrait. Let it run. Everything's set. Just make sure it's normal up there. Like I said, it's up to you whether you want to leave this. If you want it to affect the whole picture, leave that off. If you want it just to affect what the computer thinks is its skin. If you want it more subtle, leave it on. If you want it not subtle, leave it off. Okay. I think we're the third time's a charm, right? Merge down, file, save as. Like I said, once you do this one time, you ain't got to do it again. It's just I am stupid. No, I'm not. I just messed up. Okay, so we're saving it into the port runs. That looks good. I know it's going to freak out because I already have it saved in here, so whatever. You know what? I'm afraid to do anything, so if I delete it, you know what? Just hit save. You guys are going to hate me for this. I'm so sorry. But this is real stuff that can happen. So what I need to do is delete all of this shit out of here first. And then we're going to do this one more time. And if you do this where you accidentally make like 100 incorrect thingies, you can simply go down here and delete them, which is what I'm going to do real quick. And then one more time. So you just go on to here, select it. Oops. I forgot you got to be in button mode. Isn't this wonderful? Button mode. There we go. And then demo. Fuck off. You just select it. Yes, I know. And then hit trash. Yes. Trash. It's trash. Trash. Okay. So anyway, one more time. I'm sorry. I was wondering if that's why it wasn't working. Yeah, probably, because like I said, it's an operator error. All right, so one more time, guys. Let me make sure I have 2 pictures up. Okay, cool. So, and you want to make sure you have 2 images up, apparently, because I think that was my issue the last time. So, new action. Last time. Record. I'm not going to make a copy because I don't care. The only reason I ever made a copy before is because I would stop it and then paint out if I was doing like a, you know, if I was doing some kind of the action prior, but I don't care. Like this, you're just smoothing everything anyway. So we'll just do filter, portraiture. Everything looks good there. We got normal, hit OK. No, you don't have to wait for it to get done saving. It'll do that on its own out here. Cool. And then file, save as, save on your computer, pick the frickin' port runs, open, save, OK, and then close. There, perfect. That should work. Stop. Put that back on to button mode so you can see it. And then we're going to actually try this. So we're going to go over to scripts, image processor, and everything should be set up. See, the last time I did it, I didn't change the folder. So my apologies. That was just an operator error. So make sure you go for your first one. This is where you're going to be getting the images. So demo live is where my images are. Okay. And then I wanted to save them into my port run folder. Okay, so I'm going to select that. You can hit the save as a JPEG. Like I said, I have quality 12 is the highest. If I'm doing this just to upload into their stuff and I'm going to do, you know, other hard copies for edits, I'll make it like 8 so it takes half the time to upload. Other than that, make sure that's clicked, preferences, run action, and we are picking the last time, because that's the one, right? And hit run. Now it should actually work. Jeez Louise. Sorry about that. And then this is where you would just walk the fuck away from the computer. It doesn't take very long. It doesn't look like it's doing anything, but I can assure you that it is. It's actually opening them, applying that filter, and saving them in that new folder. So we'll give it just a few seconds here. Oof. See, if this was a tutorial, I could have just scooted out all that. But you guys really know what you're doing now. I didn't just show you how to do it. I showed you how to not do it. So you're fucking welcome. Okay, it's still going. I think it should be about done. All right. Doop, doop, boop, boop. A-doop, doop, doop. And if you're somebody who just does portraiture for your final touches, this will save you like 9 million hours. Because you can just set it and forget it like that. What was that, the Instapot? But you can see in here, it's as it's going, it's saving. Why is it saving the same image? What the fuck? That's a real good question. Sorry, I could not process the following files. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to figure this out, and then I'm going to come back later and do just a recorded, pre-recorded, and then upload it, because I don't know what the fuck. I'm going to try it one more time just for fun. And if you fuck anything up, it'll do that. I'm going to pick a different folder just so I can see what it's doing. So demo for live. Yep, that's that folder. Let's get rid of this one. We don't need that anyway. Okay, one more time. There were no source files. What did I fuck up? Desktop. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. Did I accidentally delete the stuff in here? Desktop. Demo. Did I accidentally delete the images in there? I'm just seeing what I fucked up. Because now it should be saving these to desktop. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm going to fuck with it after this. Like, why are you saving in there now? It's so weird. It's being odd. Because see how it's starting to save full, like in here? It shouldn't, because that's not where I selected it to save. Right? But you see it's working. It's just working in the wrong folder. That is so fucking strange. Anybody know what the hell I did wrong? Me neither. But anyway, that is exactly how I start and finish my images. See, now it's working fine. I don't know what the hell. I'm still gonna redo it just so it's a short video, and the people who watch this, see, I can't understand why it would do that. Okay, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna do it right, and then I'm gonna put a correct video up here today so that it doesn't fuck you up. But anyway, the rest was great. The other stuff with Lightroom, and I apologize for that. But do you have any questions on the other stuff currently? If you do, I'm going to answer some real quick. And then I'm going to figure out what in the fuck I'm doing wrong, because I know it's something pretty stupid. The one thing with Photoshop, and the most frustrating thing about Photoshop, is that like a lot of times it's just some little teeny tiny issue that you keep missing. But once you figure it out, you'll never make that mistake again. So I have mine all set up this way. Does it work for you, or does it is the strangest fucking thing, because I'm pretty sure it saved them back into here, and I don't know why. I find that odd. I find it really weird. But anyway, I'm gonna do that now. And yeah, and fix that for you guys. But just one more time, I wanted to point out in the group that under the events tabs, okay, there are 1,000,001, and on those I actually don't fuck most things up. I mean, I still fuck some stuff up, but not, you know, all the way. But we have the You Are Worthy coming up next week, the Boo DIY Uncensored launch, which I'm super duper duper excited about, okay? Like I said, $12 a month, you're going to get a fucking awesome tutorial on how to create like a killer set that everybody's going to want to shoot on for the month. Or for a prepayment, or just for like a bonus or whatever. And then cinematic lighting, which I'm really excited about, is going to be out hopefully in January. So we'll see. It's very, very busy. A lot of things going on. Is there a difference between running a script versus automating a batch? So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's my problem. Typically when I do this, when Elena does it, and I'll show you, when I do it, I pick the actual portraiture plugins, the portraiture plugins, all right? If I do it that way, you'll see it run with no problem. Like, watch, it'll just be like boom, boom, boom. But I'm trying to do it through an action, and I watched a like 5-second tutorial. See, it's going to sit here and pull and do all this stuff. I watched like a 5-second tutorial, and like I did it, but you know, maybe I didn't watch the very end of it. That's possible. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's up with that. But typically I do not do the automate a batch, because I don't even know how to do it. Let me see. I mean, it's got to be pretty much the same thing. Last time, folder. You see that? Let's see. So like I said, I'll give it a whirl. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll make a difference because it's an action. Don't really know. Okay, so we get those, and then destination, save and close. Oh, I bet you that's the difference, because when I do the other ones, I have to record the save and close action, but I wonder if this does, like if it'll save it to the same place. I don't know. Let's see, let me do it one more time. Demo for live. I'm just going to create a new question mark. Oh, damn it. Maybe it'll work. Select. All right. Override action. Save as commands. What? I don't even know what that means. I'm just not going to click it. Override includes suppress. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens for fun. That might be the thing that needs to happen. Because like I said, it is different. It looks like it's actually doing something now. So maybe the way I do it myself, I have to do it as a batch or image processor, and then maybe this way needs to be done as a batch because it looks like it's working just fine now. So thanks. So if that's the case, then I'm going to walk through, do it one more time from start to finish. Yeah, that looks like it's working. Okay, but yeah, now this is how it's supposed to work. So I guess that's a different way. That's so odd. Okay, yeah, if you're making an action, apparently you have to use the image or the batch and not the image processor. So it's making. No, it's not saving them in there though. My dog's sleep barking. So is it just saving them in top of themselves, I guess? This is so weird. Well, where did you even save them at? Huh. I think it just saved it on top of itself. That's what I think. Anyway, I'm going to redo this so that it's appropriate, and then I will just put it in for you guys. So it is from start to finish. I just ran it as a script and it double saved it in the destination and created a subfolder. That's what I mean. Like, it's, I don't know. Because if I just do my normal way, it's fine. So I'm going to figure out what in the fuck I am doing wrong, because it's going to drive me crazy, guys. I'm just looking. Demo for live. I just got, my ass has got to try it one more time. So let me pick this, because it worked fine on the other folder, remember? Like, what? What changed? We want to save in a different folder. Maybe. Select. So let me just share maybe. There it is. I'm going to put it back on the stupid last time. Okay, let's see. I don't have any high hopes here. Because it looks like it's processing it, but then it doesn't. It gives me that error where it's like, nah. Oh, now it looks like it might be working. No? What the fuck, guys? Well, I am so sorry. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I could see that it's applying it. That image is going to be so smooth. Oh my god. So let's look. Now, see, and it's still not saving them. So I will figure it out, and I will make a video, and I will put it up, and it will be straightforward and not 25 minutes of me trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, because I'll cut that part out. So we'll move on. But this is basically what it does, and then you're able to just save them, and it's wonderful. And when it works, it's just great. But see, it's saving them on top of each other, which I do not want to do. I should be saving them in a separate place. That's so weird. Okay. Anyway, I know you can't. Anyway, any questions about Lightroom? I still don't know what I did wrong. Okay. And if anybody has the newer version of Portraiture, let me know if you have the, if they still include the actions. Because I used to be able to go on their website and get them. And that's much easier if you ask me, because then you just throw them in there and it's ready to go. I'm just looking because I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember why I did any of this stuff. I really don't. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna get this fixed, and we're gonna get it done properly for you guys, and I will upload that video back in here today. So just give me a few minutes and we'll get it done there. And then like I said, it lets me do it as a batch. It's just it's not saving it in a separate fucking folder. I think I'm gonna try it one more time. One more time. Batch. It says right there, override action save it. You know what? Let me try that. When this option is on, files will be saved to the destination folder only only by save as steps in the action. If no save as steps, I did do save as steps. Okay, so let me click that live and then maybe. Okay, let me try that. Because like I can't imagine you would want to override your images, because if there's something you don't like on the smoothing, you want to be able to go to the original image and, you know, pull it back if you need to. Are you actually working this time? Yes. Okay, so that's working. So I guess I didn't have to do the save as command. Is that what the deal is then? Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to run this one more time, but you can see how nice these look now. Let's see. Oof. Like I said, they got a little bit extra smoothing, but hey, I ain't mad at it. Okay, so let's do it one more time then, just to avoid any confusion. And I'm going to actually not do the save as this time. I'm going to just stop and see if it will just do the save as. I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think? It's kind of fun to fiddle fuck with shit, right? So open. I'm going to grab a couple of pictures here. I don't care. When I made the action, I hit the save as, and I think that's a problem because I think it's the action saving it to the same folder that I had before. So I think that's probably where the issue is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it one more time. So button mode off. Oops. Button mode off. Cool. All right. So we're going to do new action. And this is going to be the winner because it works. I'm saving it to my Boo DIY set. I'm going to hit record. So all I'm going to do is go up here, filter, Imagenomic Portraiture 3. Let that do its thing. I swear it's not difficult at all. It's just that, like I said, it's always something like dumb and little that I didn't think about, or you didn't, or you know, whoever doesn't. So normal I like, on, yes, hit OK. That's going to apply it. And then I guess we can just stop there, right? Because shouldn't have to save it. So I'm going to hit stop. And make that go out of my way. All right, so let's see if we can do it now. So we'll go to automate, right? Yeah, because we're going to do automate batch. So I'm going to pull from, it's already set to do my winner up here. The source folder is going to be demo from live. And I'm not going to override the save as this time because I didn't do one. So I'm just going to choose a folder. Let's pick, let's make one over here so there's no confusion. Fingers crossed. Select that folder. All right, so we got coming from demo for live, going to fingers crossed, not selecting anything there, and hitting OK. And let's, fingers crossed, guys. Let's hope. Now, see, I shouldn't have to hit this OK button. Okay. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. So, like, there's little things in here that we're missing because we don't want to have to sit here and hit OK after each picture. That's not cool. That would take too long. So I will come back. I will show you guys how to do it. Give me like an hour, okay? Because this is stupid. I'm just going to hit cancel because I know. I don't want the thing to keep going. Okay. But I hope you guys got some good information from the first portion of it with the Lightroom and whatnot. But like I said, I will go ahead and I'll get this updated for you now. And then I will be back. So I'm going to go do that. And then I will post a video for you guys. So leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And again, I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to get this perfect for you. Okay. Well, you guys take it easy, and I will be back. Bye. It might help if I actually end the thing on the computer.